Hello and welcome to Oweleketv News. I am Antonia Nwokolo. The news headlines. Blackout as workers shut down power grid. In business, CBN clears $831 million foreign airlines trapped funds. On the foreign scene, Claudia Sheinbaum makes history as Mexico's first woman president. And in sports, Eagles begin training in Uyo as camp swells. Welcome back. Now the news in details. The organized labor on Sunday insisted that its indefinite strike would begin today as planned following the federal government's refusal to increase the minimum wage above 60,000 naira. Labor, which is demanding 494,000 naira, said in Abuja last night after a 3-hour meeting with the National Assembly leadership and top officials of the executive arm of government. The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, and his trade union Congress counterpart Festus Osifo led members of their national executives to the meeting, which was presided over by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin. The Transmission Company of Nigeria has announced the complete shutdown of Nigeria's power grid by labor unions as the strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress begins. NLC and TUC commenced on the nationwide industrial action on Monday in protest against the 60,000 minimum wage proposal of the federal government. Announcing the shutdown of the national power grid in a statement issued on Monday morning by TCN spokesperson Ndidi Mba, the transmission firm said the action was deliberately done by the workers. The police in Anambra State says it has deployed its operatives to strategic parts of the state to ensure that any attempt to enforce the strike declared by the NLC is thwarted. A press release by the spokesperson of the state command, Tochukwu, stated that the command stands with the federal government, which has declared the strike as illegal and will stop at nothing to thwart its enforcement, including any attempt by unscrupulous elements to hijack the enforcement and cause breach of peace. Ikenga in the release said the federal government had declared the planned strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress as illegal and premature. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
The Executive Director of Project Implementation of the Federal Housing Authority, Remi Omowaye, has said the proposed 50,000 federal government housing scheme was meant to rejuvenate the economy. Omowaye spoke in Modakeke, Osun State on Sunday at the 4th edition of the Oyetola Hand of Fellowship, an initiative of a member of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Kayode Showade. At the event, 750 people drawn from the community received various sums as business grants, totaling about 3.7 million naira. The former Osun State Commissioner for Work said that through the new housing scheme, jobs will be created, adding that dealers in businesses related to real estate would also benefit. He called on Nigerians to support President Tinubu's administration, noting that various reforms of the federal government were necessary to keep the country on the path of development. A petition submitted by a civil society at the National Assembly has unraveled how the recently dissolved National Steel Council Board wrecked the organization and the nation. President Tinubu had earlier dissolved all boards of the federal government agencies and parastatals. That of the National Steel Council breached the presidential order and was still operating until the Senate, through a motion, and the House of Representatives Committee on Steel Development asked that the council be dissolved. Before they were dissolved, the NSC board informed the Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Abubakar Audu, of an alleged 1 billion naira fraud that it linked to his executive secretary, Abdul Kadir Musafari. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has urged Nigerians not to give out their hard-earned money or properties regardless of intimidation by police officers. Egbetokun made this statement in Abuja at the force headquarters during a meeting with key officers responsible for the internal control mechanisms of the police. According to the IGP, his leadership of the police would bridge the trust deficit between the force and members of the public. In business, The International Air Transport Association has confirmed that the Central Bank of Nigeria has cleared foreign airlines trapped funds worth $831 million from June last year to date. The Geneva, Switzerland-based IATA said the development had brought international airlines trapped funds globally to about $1.8 billion. According to IATA, from the peak of about $850 million foreign airlines funds in Nigeria last June, only $19 million is left outstanding. The association representing the international airlines said the remaining $19 million was awaiting the CBN verification through commercial banks. Up next are stories on the foreign scene after the break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. On the foreign scene, Claudia Sheinbaum was elected Mexico's first woman president by landslide Sunday, making history in a country plagued by rampant criminal and gender-based violence. The 61-year-old former Mexico City mayor, a scientist by training, won around 58 to 60% of votes. The National Electoral Institute announced after a quick count that was more than 30% point ahead of her main opposition rival, Xochitl Gálvez, and some 50% point ahead of the only man running long shot centuries, George Alvarez Maynez. In entertainment, Tems, the Grammy-winning Nigerian singer, shared her thoughts on how her music is received by fellow Nigerians. Tems acknowledged that her music is partially recognized, but expressed uncertainty about whether Nigerians truly understand her musical endeavors. When asked if she feels appreciated by Nigerians and if they grasp the essence of her music, she disclosed that she does feel a personal sense of appreciation from her audience. In sports, ahead of the crucial 2026 World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic, Super Eagles held their first full training session in Uyo on Sunday as more invited players arrived in camp. The Eagles are scheduled to host Bafana Bafana at the Gosulapabio International Stadium in Uyo on June 7th before traveling to Ivory Coast, where they face the Squirrels 3 days later. In preparation for the games, head coach Finidi George invited 23 Eagles stars, with the return of Maduka Okoye headlining the list of invited players. The team's camp officially opened on Friday in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, with the Eagles lodged at the Ibom Golf Resort Hotel, the same base they used during the successful qualification for the 2018 World Cup. And just before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. Blackout as workers shut down power grid. In business, CBN clears $831 million foreign airlines trapped funds. On the foreign scene, Claudia Sheinbaum makes history as Mexico's first woman president. And in sports, Eagles begin training in Uyo as camp swells. And that's the package on our news bulletin. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleketv. I am Antonia Nwokolo. Many thanks for watching.